good, YouTube, man? It is your boy Solid back with another solid reaction. And today we got Mr. Pistol Pete, the man with the greatest handles to ever touch the rock. If y'all don't know, man, what made him the best to everyone? So we'll go ahead and check this one out, man. If this is your first time seeing your boy Solid on your screen, man, do me a favor, man. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn your notifications on. And if you're a big Pistol Pete fan, drop the pistol in the chat, baby. Let's get it. Let's see what's going on. Let's see what's going on with this one, man.
Let's start with the greatest point guard of all time, Magic Johnson, and his opinion about how good Pistol Pete really was. Let's take a look.
Man, you couldn't steal it from Pistol Pete. He come down there and make up shots in the air. The no-look passes, the dribble the ball, then pat it with one hand. That's where I saw all that from Pistol Pete. That's where I got it from him.
Now Maravich brings it up behind the back.
Yeah.
A little showtime there.
You're looking at Pistol Pete Maravich, in my opinion, the greatest playmaker playing today.
NCAA scoring champion at LSU, twice an NBA scoring champion.
He handled, and people always say dribble, he handled the ball like it was a yo-yo. He could go this way with it, I got that way with it. He could put it this way. Next thing you know, the yo-yo goes out that way, but the yo-yo was the basketball, okay? The basketball was like an invisible string on his hand. I mean, he could really handle the ball.
Now, as we all know, Isaiah Thomas is also one of the greatest point guards of all time, and he seemed to be a big fan of Pistol Pete. Let's take a look.
You go back and you look at film of what this guy was actually doing with the basketball.
Watch him for a moment, and then try to conjure the right word. And while you watch, remember what you're seeing happened more than a quarter century ago.
That ball looks like a part of his hand. And I said, he must spend a lot of time dribbling and dribbling.
How many hours a day would you spend with a basketball, bouncing and shooting, and say when you're 12 years old?
When I was 12, Don, during the summer months, about 8 hours a day, between 8.5, and during the winter months, about 4 hours a day.
And the things that he did,
said, I'm still out here grinding.
He practiced them. Nothing that he did was so much spontaneous. It was because he had done these things over and over again in practice. And he got 68 on us, as you know, when I was with the Knicks. And I used to tell Clyde and Butch Beard that he only got 6 on me.
You're watching basketball history for Pete Maravich tonight. Here's a basket for him if he can convert.
Give me that. And then stopped and looked. You can have your ball back.
68
Give me this. Good cookie.
Look at him fight for this ball.
Behind the back. Oh.
And the crowd is going wild here at the Super.
Pistol Pete at 2, because for me, he was the first, no offense, Brent, he was the first white guy with style and flair that I've seen. So
why would I take offense to that comment?
Because you're a white guy. You're the first white guy to have the flash and style and between the legs and behind the back. I mean, because my favorite move was the move he did to Jerry West.
Pete Maravich, he would take the basketball, right, and he would fake the pass. He would bounce it here, bounce it behind him, fake the pass, and you as a defender would jump, and he'd turn back around, catch the ball, and shoot. that was a hell of a move. And I was like, okay,
hey, is it me? Is it
it
just me, or I feel like Isaiah Thomas just need to sit his ass the fuck down? Like, he just be doing too much sometimes. Sometimes he get up and I'm like, Isaiah, I know what you're trying to do, but you old as hell right now. Like, just say it. Everybody else is talking. Just talk. You get what I'm saying?
Got it in the game. And Steve Coates stole
Oh, man.
Pistol was like a guy, the game was boring to him, so he had to create things to keep him interested.
He just has so much razzle-dazzle in his game. He was just hard to guard.
Really great Pistol Pete was. He was probably my most difficult opponent as far as one-on-one. I saw Earl, the Pearl. I played against Clyde, and I thought those guys gave me problems. Pistol was unique with his ball handling and dribbling and stuff like that. He could just trick guys, and he gave me probably the most difficult time to guard.
I was labeled very young as a showman. To try to bring fans back, you have to do something other than just put the ball in the hoop.
He shot a shot one time in practice. He came down on the break. He shot it, he let it go, he turned around and started running, and as the ball ripped the net, he said, he did did this, and we all went like, Larry did that. Larry got that from him, and he would do stuff like that. I was like, man, how good is that guy? He shoots the ball, turns around, and he runs it. As it's ripping the net, he just does that. Then we'd play horse, and he had some shots where he'd jump out of bounds. He had shots I never thought of ever shooting shots.
Outside the line, jump in with 2 feet.
This is a trick shot now.
Come in the line, off the backboard. Spin on.
you go, Bubbles. He's got a lot of tricks. Dump it on in, spin it off the backboard. It's got to be a bank. Got to be a bank. There's the whistle, and the first letter goes up on Hawkins.
You play Pete in Horse, and it was an adventure because you go like, okay, I got no chance of beating him the first time.
Pistol can make that ball talk, I think.
I just pull up from 40.
Is a natural nickname. Maravich intercepted.
Oh.
They had a 2-on-1 break. Maravich, let's see what he'll do.
Stop and pop.
Maravich is hitting 1,000. And that's the guy they came to see, Pete Maravich.
Pete Maravich was so far ahead of his time, he was 10 plays ahead of everyone else.
Bang.
Greatness. That was Pete Maravich. Did he just do what I think he did?
Having the kind of career he had in college and bringing that same game and style in the
Off
pro,
the head?
you know, really make people, or I would say the people that didn't really get a chance to see him, really miss him. We lost him too early, you know, because I think his accomplishment to the game of basketball, man, and how he played it and how he loved it and how he can do things with that basketball that most couldn't.
Okay.
That's hard.
Leonard, Gervin.
We gonna remember it for a long time, man.
Oh, that's a pulley. Bang.
Magic Man, he hits.
The 6 games that we played against each other in college, I think Pete averaged over 50 points a game, but we won all 6 games.
Pete took losing pretty bad. I think that's why, even though he was scoring a lot of points, I think Pete would have been happier, you know, if he'd scored less and we won some of the ball games that we lost.
Pete Maravich falls somewhere between the Globetrotters and the And One Tour in basketball history in terms of what he could do with a basketball. How far ahead of his time was he as a ball handler and a passer?
Tremendous. He had all the tricks, basically. He could play in any era. He would dribble between his legs, behind his back, throw great passes, had great shooting range. And he was a great scorer. He had 68 points in one game, averaged 31 points one season when he led the NBA in scoring. So he could play in any era, the era before, during, or even today. But he was sort of snake-bit. If you look back at his career, he had a lot of bad luck. Number one, he had knee issues after, say, his 7th year. And this was before modern technology could help him. And his teams were pretty much mismanaged. And then his last year, he played for the Boston Celtics.
You know, me being an old school NBA fan, I'm always very happy about when I find some new clips from NBA legends giving their
he got some
opinion
new
about certain
clips.
players, and I love putting those videos together because for me it's just super interesting to hear what
that was
guys
the end
have
of the
to say that
video.
actually played against other legends. So
all right, man, that's the end of this video, man. Real fast, I'm gonna make it real quick for y'all. Pistol Pete has got to be a top 10 ball handler of all time, man. I do love Pistol Pete. I think, like he said, you know, like we just didn't get enough of him, so a lot of people don't know much about him, and that's where it kind of diminishes or depletes who he was as a player. But Pistol Pete is like, it's different. And I learned about Pistol Pete through y'all. Like, y'all really put me on the Pistol Pete. I didn't know who he was. People were like, yo, check out Pistol Pete. And I was like, I don't know who he is. But now that I've watched him, I've really fell in love with his style of play. And it's something that I do enjoy, man. But, man, if this is your first time seeing your boy Solid on your screen, man, hit that like button, subscribe. I'll see y'all in the next Solid Reaction. Peace.